She woke up again at 3:12 a.m. No alarm, no noise, just that heavy, silent pressure in her chest, like someone was watching. Outside, the street was empty, but inside her head, something was whispering. A name, a child's name, one she didn't remember until she saw the photo taped under her kitchen table. A girl with her eyes smiling like she never left. She had just turned 40. The house was finally quiet. The kids had moved out. The marriage had ended 2 years ago, and the only sound now was the ticking of a wall clock she never remembered buying. Her therapist called it peace. She called it punishment. On the third night of July, something changed. It started with the smell. Not bad, not strong, just wrong. Like burnt sugar and old rain. Then came the flicker. Her bedroom light dimmed for exactly 3 seconds, then returned. She checked the fuse box. Normal. The next night, it happened again. But this time, she heard the phone ring. Not her cell, the landline. The one she hadn't used in over a decade. The one that wasn't even plugged in. She froze. It rang again. And again, always 3 times, then silence. She laughed it off, called herself tired, lonely, delusional maybe. But on the 5th night, she answered. She didn't mean to. Her hand just moved. And when she lifted the receiver, no sound came, only breathing. Then a voice, soft, female, familiar. "It's okay," it whispered. "You needed to remember." Her mouth went dry. "Who is this?" she asked. The voice paused. Then, "You, just later." A click. The line died. The phone went cold. She stood there, frozen, the receiver still pressed to her ear, heart hammering against her ribs like it wanted out. That night, she didn't sleep. She checked every drawer, every closet, every photo album, searching for what she didn't know. But the next morning, she found it. Underneath the floorboard in her closet, loose and warped with age. A small tin box. Inside, one photograph, folded and stained. 2 women standing side by side, identical, smiling. One of them was her, but older, and the other was her too, just younger. In the corner of the photo, someone had written, "Second chance, if you're brave enough." She stared at it for hours, forgot to eat, forgot to blink. That evening at exactly 3:12 a.m., the landline rang again. This time, she answered before the first ring ended. The voice on the other end wasn't hers this time. It was older, tired, hollow in a way that echoed behind her ribs. "I don't have long," it said, "but listen carefully. He's already inside." She tried to ask who, but the line hissed and cracked and then went silent. Not dead, listening. She slammed the receiver down. The silence in the house thickened, like air soaked in sleep and secrets. She stood in her hallway, barefoot, feeling the cold through the wood floor. The photos on the walls, her children, her wedding, her mother, seemed suddenly wrong, tilted, as if someone had brushed against them. No windows were open, no doors. She turned toward the kitchen, and the light above her flickered again, once, twice, then stayed off. She didn't scream when she saw him. She couldn't. Her throat closed up like it knew something she didn't. He stood at the end of the hall, not a stranger, not a shadow, a man she'd known once, or thought she had. Her first love, the one who disappeared the day after she turned 20. No note, no body, only the sound of the lake. But now he stood there, older, drenched, eyes black as ink, and smiling. "You kept the necklace," he said. Her hand flew to her chest. It wasn't there, but it had been, every day for 20 years. She ran, not fast, not far, just upstairs, as if walls would help, as if memory had limits. In the guest room, she locked the door, sat on the floor, breathed through her teeth. She grabbed her phone. No service. Not even Wi-Fi. Just a spinning symbol, like it was buffering a nightmare. Then the landline rang. She hadn't brought it upstairs, but it rang from inside the closet. She opened the door. No phone. Only the necklace, hung on a nail, dripping wet. She didn't remember picking up the necklace, but now it was in her hand, cold, wet. The chain tangled tight around her fingers like it had grown there. She dropped it, or tried to, but her hand wouldn't let go. She pulled, yanked, it didn't move. It was as if her own skin had woven around the metal. In the mirror across the room, she saw herself, but the reflection was wrong. Her lips were moving, but she wasn't speaking. "You should have stayed," the reflection whispered. "You promised." Then it smiled, not cruelly, but with pity, as if she had already lost. She slammed the closet door shut. The necklace finally fell to the ground with a metallic thud, dry now and clean. She backed away, heart hammering, knees weak. In the hallway, she heard footsteps, heavy, wet. But when she looked, no one was there. Only the trail, damp footprints leading away from the guest room, not toward the stairs, but toward her bedroom. She followed, not out of courage, but because something was pulling her inside. Inside her bedroom, everything was exactly how she'd left it, except the bed. The sheets were folded, the pillows fluffed. A single white rose rested on top. She hadn't owned roses in years. Then the closet door creaked again, slowly, deliberately. But she hadn't opened it. Not this one. A man's voice came from within. "You said you'd wait for me." She froze. That voice, older now, but unmistakable. It was him, the man who vanished, the man who just stood in her hallway, the one who had drowned. Her voice came out hoarse. "You're not real." Silence. Then, "Neither are you." The lights in the room blinked out, one by one, and when the last bulb died, something moved in the dark, close, breathing, watching. And then, the phone rang. Again. She didn't answer it this time. She let the phone ring. Once. Twice. A third time. Then, silence. But silence was never empty here. It breathed. It pulsed. She stepped back from the phone And it rang again, not from the receiver, from the mirror inside it. The same old phone, the same cracked plastic, but now it was glowing faintly. Her own reflection stood still, unmoving except for the eyes. They looked terrified, not at her, but behind her. She turned quickly. Nothing, only the shadows shifting slightly, like they had moved just a second too late. The air grew thicker, like breathing through cotton. The mirror vibrated gently, not from the sound, but from pressure, as if something was trying to push through. She grabbed a blanket and threw it over the glass, shaking, but she could still hear it, ringing from inside the cloth. Her knees gave out. She crawled to the hallway. And there, at the very end, stood her daughter. But her daughter had died 10 years ago. She was older now, taller, her hair longer, her face unreadable. And in her hands the white rose from the bedroom, the same one, unwilted, fresh. "Mom," the girl said, "it's not finished." She blinked. "What's not finished?" The hallway went dark again. A door slammed somewhere below, and the scent of roses filled the air. Too strong, sweet and wrong, like something dead pretending to be alive. She crawled back toward her room, the mirror still covered, still vibrating. And then she realized the phone wasn't ringing anymore. Now it was humming, and someone was speaking on the other end. The voice was faint, but clear, whispering numbers. 3, 1, 7. Repeating, over and over. A date? A code? Her hands trembled as she approached the covered mirror. She didn't want to look, but she couldn't not look. Slowly, she pulled the blanket down. Nothing moved. Only her reflection, pale, hollow. And then it opened its mouth, but the sound came from behind her. She turned. Nothing. Just the hallway again. But this time, the pictures on the wall had changed. No longer her family. Just one image, repeated. Her. But older. Older than now. Hair gray, eyes empty. In each frame, she was turning slightly more toward the camera, as if trying to face whoever was looking. She stepped closer. The last photo was blank, just static. But as she stared, the image sharpened, and the photo showed her, now, standing exactly where she stood. Same clothes, same angle, except her mouth was open in a scream. She hadn't screamed. Had she? Her ears rang. The humming was louder now. From the phone, from the walls, from inside her. Then the lights flickered. All of them, like the house was blinking. And something woke up. Not outside, inside her. A memory she didn't remember. A choice she hadn't made. And yet it was hers. She ran to the front door. Again. Same note. You can go. But new words below it. You've been here before. She tore it down, opened the door. Sunlight, warm air, real. She stepped through. But the ground beneath her wasn't concrete. It was linoleum. Her kitchen. She was back. Again. But something was different. The radio was on. A song she remembered from childhood. A birthday party. Candles. A wish. She walked in slowly and found a cake on the counter. Lit. One candle. And beside it, her daughter's voice on a recording. Do you remember now? She followed the voice, barefoot, breath shallow. The air had changed, thicker, like breathing through water. The cake was gone now, so was the kitchen. She stood in a narrow hallway lined with doors. None of them had handles, but one of them was open, barely. Light pulsed from within, slow, like a heartbeat. As she stepped forward, the voice came again, this time not from the phone, from the room. Her own voice, but distant, tired. You came back. She pushed the door. Inside, a hospital bed. Sheets, neatly folded. A single chair. On the floor, photos, dozens, all of her, but each older, each more tired, each more alone. And on the bed, herself, but not asleep, not dead, staring at the ceiling, lips moving, whispering numbers. 3, 1, 7. She stepped closer. Her other self didn't blink, didn't look at her, just whispered. Until, suddenly, the woman in the bed turned her head and smiled. You never left, she said. You just forgot. And with that, the walls cracked, all of them. Light spilled in like water, drowning the room in white. The door slammed shut behind her, and everything began to rewind, fast. Rooms blurred, memories unspooled. Her daughter's voice, her mother's laugh, the scent of rain on the old porch. Time collapsed inward until there was only one sound. The phone, ringing again. And she, back in her living room, sitting, staring at it. But this time, she didn't answer. Not right away. She waited, breathing, thinking, remembering, and the phone kept ringing until it didn't. The next morning, she opened her eyes to silence. No ringing, no whispers, just the hum of life, distant traffic, a bird outside her window, the slow tick of a clock that hadn't worked in years. She made coffee, sat by the window, and waited, not for a call, but for a feeling. It came slowly, like warmth after a long winter. She wasn't free, not really, but she remembered now. And sometimes that was enough, because some calls don't come from phones, they come from within. And when you finally stop answering them, that's when you start living again.